We were so spoiled in 2022. There were so many amazing collaborations, like Machine Gun Kelly collaborating with Travis Barker, and also something wild like Travis Barker collaborating with Avril Lavigne. It was the year of amazing, spectacular collaborations. So I thought, let's do a retrospective. Let's go back in time a little bit and let's do a little look back on another collaboration. One that might even be better than Avril Lavigne and Youngblood. Wait, have you heard that cover of Youngblood and Machine Gun Kelly doing that Oasis song? Absolutely brilliant. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. One of the best collaborations in the world. But we're gonna go back and take a look at NOFX collaborating with Frank Turner on their record, West Coast vs. Wessex. Hey ladies, Dan Frampton here, and how's about a little bit of context first? What is this NOFX that I'm speaking of, right? They're this West Coast punk band. They've been around, I don't know, since the beginning of time about, and they like doing split records, okay? They like to cover one artist's song and then have that artist cover their song and then put that out and then call it a thing. There used to be this series called the BYO series, and it was always two punk bands covering each other's songs, and I guess this kind of thing is the spiritual successor to the BYO series. I do have a special place in my heart for all of those records, and I went into this thing thinking, is this gonna live up to the hype? But we're gonna go through this track by track. We're gonna discuss the original, the cover, and then determine which one was the better version. Did Fat Mike really bunk this thing up? How many songs did he ruin? The first side of the record is NOFX's side. That means they're going to be covering a bunch of Frank Turner songs, and the first one they decided to go with is Substitute. Now this is a pretty good song because it kind of nails the whole essence of what a Frank Turner is. He's a singer-songwriter, kind of a little bit folky, kind of a little bit punky, and from Britain. And this song kind of like lets you know all that. The original came out in 2009 on the record called Love, Ire, and Song, and this thing is very tender and very beautiful. A great cut. It works kind of okay as a NOFX song, but the lyrics happen to be just a little bit too thoughtful to be written by Fat Mike. And one of the first things that came to mind when I'm thinking of this split record is that Frank Turner's songwriting is on another level, and that's the kind of thing Fat Mike needs right now. Good songwriting. So I was like, what's Fat Mike gonna sound like behind a good song? And to nobody's surprise, it's actually pretty decent. So who put out the better version of Substitute? I'm gonna have to give it to the original. Frank Turner is gonna run away with this one, even though the NOFX version kinda rules. Oh, the next song is such a good song. If you haven't heard Worst Things Happen at Sea by Frank Turner, you gotta go out and listen to this thing right now. It came out in 2007 on the record Sleep Is for the Weak, and it kind of reminds me of Dave Van Ronk, this classic folk singer, except for Dave Van Ronk was very rough and tumbled, okay? And this is a very kind of clean presentation. It's got that finger-picking acoustic style with some light harmonica in the background, and Frank Turner is singing his ass off, he's writing his ass off, and it's clear to me that this thing is badass. That's 3 asses. Frank Turner has 3 asses. This song is a little bit haunting, it's a little bit reflective, and on the NOFX version, Fat Mike's voice sucks so much ass. Fat Mike's only got 1 ass, and it sucks. He's absolutely saved by Frank Turner's songwriting. It's the only thing keeping this version afloat. It is cool to hear it with full accompaniment, but you know, Frank is running away with this one too. So far, Frank 2, NOFX 0. And then we move on to a track called Thatcher Fucked the Kids. Now this is another Frank Turner track through and through, but the lyrics of this thing really work well for a NOFX song. If NOFX happened to be British, you know? It came out in 2006 on Frank Turner's debut EP called Campfire Punk Rock. You know, it's a political folk punk song. It's nothing too special. It's not really that great. It is solid. The NOFX version rips ass. This thing rules. It's got some trumpet. It's got some organ. It's a little bit ska. It's a little bit punk rock. And yeah, Fat Mike is taking these lyrics and running with them. This is kind of like a NOFX song now. I love this thing. So I'm giving this one to NOFX. So on the scoreboard, we got Frank Turner 2, NOFX 1. And then we're gonna move on to 2007's Ballad of Me and My Friends that came off the record Sleep is for the Weak. It's kind of this tender, forlorn barroom ballad. I love the taste of this thing. You can almost smell the whiskey and cigarettes coming off of it. The gang vocals on this cut are perfect for a barroom, really setting the mood. But NOFX comes in on this thing so bombastic, so fantastic, maybe even a little bit spastic. It's fast as fuck and definitely not a ballad anymore. Mike's voice sucks a little bit less on this thing, but I'm gonna have to say that this track is a tie. It's a great song, and I gotta say NOFX's reinvention of it is a welcome addition to the universe. And then we're gonna close off NOFX's side with Glory, Hallelujah, which originally came out in 2011 on the record England Keep My Bones. It's got this very sexy, ornate organ, and then turns into a beautiful piano rock and roll song once everything kicks in. It's tuneful and catchy, and I love the hook. It's wonderful, and combined with the British accent, absolutely makes my day. NOFX kind of keeps it true to the original, and then the last 30 seconds, they NOFXify it, you know? And it's kind of cool to see NOFX try to do what Frank Turner does, but I gotta say, Frank Turner is running away with this one. The score is now 3-1. All right, we're gonna flip that disc over, and it's gonna be Frank Turner's turn to cover some NOFX songs. He's gonna start with 1994's Punkin Drublick's Scavenger Type, which was a NOFX acoustic cut back in the day. So you know Frank Turner has his ears out for the acoustic cuts. But what did he do when he got his hands on that acoustic cut? He turned it into a folk punk song with full accompaniment. Frank's version is just way, way, way better. It's on another level. Like, Fat Mike should be embarrassed. It's just an amazing song choice, and it sends the listener a very refreshing curveball. It's just fast punk rock music where Frank Turner's voice is on fire. Do I even need to make it official? Frank Turner wins this. 5-1. Next, we gotta talk about Frank Turner's version of Bob. Now this is a classic NOFX song off of White Trash, Two Hebes and a Bean. Everybody's familiar with the NOFX version, but this Frank Turner version over here is a ballad. And this music video is very, very cool. So I know what you're thinking. You're like, hey, that's Fat Mike, and I thought you said this was a Frank Turner song. Well, it is. It's Frank Turner providing the music, and actually all of NOFX is in this video, kind of doing a remake, like a folk remake of the original Bob music video. So instead of playing some punk club somewhere, you know, they're out there in a field, just like a folk video. It's kind of like a parody, you know? You got El Jefe here, Bob on a scooter somewhere here. There's Bob on a scooter, it's a whole new Bob. For some reason, Fat Mike out here with a guitar. Well, I don't know why he couldn't be playing his actual instrument, which is, everyone knows, the bass guitar. So if you haven't seen this video, if you haven't heard this song, I have to direct your attention to it. You're gonna go out and you're gonna listen to it, you're gonna watch it after this video, okay? And I gotta tell you, I'm not gonna play any music videos because of copyright. There are people down there in the comments being like, why are you playing the music? I'm a big dumb idiot. And I gotta say to these big dumb idiots why I'm not playing the music is because I don't want the Content ID bot to take my video down and make it unmonetized, okay? Get a life, you friggin' losers. Everyone else though, you're so chill. And then we're gonna go over here to Eat the Meek, which happens to be one of my favorite NOFX songs, coming off the record So Long and Thanks for All the Shoes. It's a 1997 classic ska bop, but Frank puts this total post-rock spin on it, where it's just like this long extended snare roll. It's a fantastic and interesting interpretation of the track. I absolutely love the NOFX version, but this thing makes me hear the song in a whole new way. I'm not sure who to give the point to, but I'm gonna give it to NOFX, and I gotta give it to NOFX for Bob too, okay? Because that's Bob, and this is Eat the Meek, and you can't out NOFX on these NOFX tracks. It's Bob and Eat the Meek. These 2 points are clearly going to NOFX. 5-3 is the running total right now. Punkin Drublick also gave us this cut, Perfect Government. It's just classic old school NOFX, the way we think in NOFX in the early 90s. But Frank's not okay with that. He's like, what if I made this thing, I don't know, a Celtic folk song? What if I brought in, I don't know, a fiddle? You're like, okay, true, Frank, that's pretty cool. That is what somebody from England would do. I think Frank actually fixed the song. It's perfect now. Yeah, Frank took that one too. Frank's really destroying it out here. And the last song on this record is 1997's off of So Long and Thanks for All the Shoes, Falling in Love. This is a great NOFX song. It's like 2 minutes and change, whatever. It's just like, you know, a NOFX song. But what Frank did with this is he slowed it down. He nearly doubled the runtime on this thing. It's drenched in like echo and reverb, and it's very rich and textured. Frank Turner really made this song his own, and it kind of reminds me of when Johnny Cash did Hurt. It's just bare bone instrumentation, and Frank Turner now owns this song. Yeah, clearly, Frank wins this by a mile. It's also a great closer to the record. Now, my overall thoughts were that these artists were really celebrating one another's music, you know, and they did such a good job of honoring the original and then doing a little spin of their own. I think every track on this thing brings new character to an already known song. And I think having Fat Mike sing so poorly on this thing, juxtaposed with how brilliantly Frank Turner is singing on this thing, just gives this album more charm. I'm walking away from this thinking, well, it's no MGK and Travis Barker, but it's pretty good, I guess. Alright, please like, comment, and subscribe. Ring the bell if you're cool as hell, and until my next upload, watch another upload.